What if I told you that you might be saving too much for retirement? I know that sounds completely out of place in 2026. We are constantly bombarded with messages telling us to save more and invest more. The headlines warn us that we are not prepared for the future. They tell us that we will outlive our money, or that inflation will destroy everything we have built. For many people, that is sound advice. But what if you have already done the hard work? What if you are much closer to the finish line than you think you are? For decades, you have been diligently putting money away into your accounts. You have made the sacrifices, and you have stayed disciplined while watching your nest egg grow. You have done everything the experts told you to do, but the finish line just keeps moving further away. The goalposts seem to shift every single time you get close to them. You start to wonder when enough is finally enough. When can you finally take your foot off the gas pedal and start enjoying the fruits of your labor? That is the exact question we are going to answer today. We are going to explore the radical idea that maybe you can stop saving for retirement much sooner than you think. We will break down the real numbers and look at the variables that actually matter. This is not about being reckless or taking unnecessary risks with your future. It is about being smart and understanding the power of compounding in a post-inflation world. It is about making your money work for you, so you do not have to work so hard for it anymore. If you have ever felt like you are on a never-ending treadmill of saving, then this is for you. We are going to give you the tools and the confidence to take back control of your financial life. Let us get into the core details of how this works. To figure out if you can stop saving, you need to understand 6 key variables. These are the building blocks of your financial freedom in 2026. Once you get a handle on these, you will be able to see the big picture clearly. First is your retirement number. This is the total amount of money you need to have saved to live comfortably without ever working again. A simple way to estimate this is the rule of 25. You take your desired annual retirement income and you multiply it by 25. If you want to live on $60,000 a year in retirement, you will need a nest egg of $1.5 million. This rule is based on the 4% safe withdrawal rate, which is still the industry standard. For now, just think of your retirement number as your ultimate finish line. Second, we have your current savings. This is the total amount of money you have in your retirement accounts right now. This includes your 401k accounts and your individual retirement accounts. It includes any other investments you have specifically earmarked for your later years. This is your starting point and the foundation you have already built. Third is your expected return rate. This is the average annual return you expect your investments to generate over the long term. A common estimate for the stock market is around 8 to 10% per year. However, to be safe in the current economic climate, it is wise to use a more conservative number. We recommend using 5% or 6%, especially after you factor in the real-world impact of inflation. Fourth is your current savings rate. This is the percentage of your income that you are currently putting away every month. If you are an aggressive saver, this might be 20% or even 30% of your paycheck. This is the fuel you are adding to your financial fire. But what if you could turn off that fuel and still reach your destination on time? Fifth is your retirement expenses. This is how much you actually plan to spend each year once you stop working. A good rule of thumb is to estimate that you will need about 80% of your current income. But this can vary a lot depending on your lifestyle and where you choose to live. You might spend less on commuting, but you will likely spend more on travel and healthcare. It is important to be realistic about what your lifestyle will truly cost you. Finally, we have other income sources. This is any money you will have coming in that does not come from your own savings. This could be Social Security or a pension, or even rental income from a property. In 2026, Social Security remains a vital backbone for most retirees. These other income sources can significantly reduce the amount you need to draw from your accounts. Now that you understand these 6 variables, we can talk about the concept of coast fire. Coast fire is the point where you have enough money in your accounts that you no longer need to contribute another dime. Even if you never add another dollar, your investments will grow to your full retirement number by the time you are ready to stop. This does not mean you are retiring today. You still need to work to cover your current living expenses like your mortgage and your groceries. But you are no longer saving for the future, because the future is already paid for. You are coasting. You have reached a point of financial freedom where you can choose to work less. You could take a lower-paying job that is more fulfilling, or even start your own small business. So how do you know if you have reached this milestone? It is time for a little bit of simple math. Take your retirement number and divide it by 1 plus your expected return rate. Then you raise that to the power of the number of years you have until your planned retirement. Let us look at a real-world example. Let us say your goal is to have $1.5 million. You are currently 45 years old, and you want to retire at age 65. That means you have 20 years left for your money to grow. If we use a conservative return rate of 5%, then the math is simple. You would need about $565,000 in your accounts today. If you have that amount at age 45, you could, theoretically, stop saving entirely. If your investments grow at an average of 5%, that money will turn into $1.5 million by the time you are 65. You have officially reached coast fire. Let us look at another scenario for a couple in their mid-50s. Imagine they have $800,000 saved, and they want to retire in 10 years with $2 million. Using that same conservative 5% return, they only need about $1.2 million today. If they are not there yet, they can see exactly how much more they need to push. But if they are already there, they can stop the aggressive saving and start living more today. This is a powerful exercise because it changes the way you think about your career. It opens up possibilities that you never thought were possible for someone in your position. But before you make any drastic changes to your lifestyle, we need to talk about the risks. The coast fire calculation is based on several key assumptions. If those assumptions do not pan out exactly as planned, you could find yourself in a difficult spot. The biggest risk is market volatility. What if the market does not return 5% every single year? What if there is a major market crash right before you plan to stop working? This is called the sequence of returns risk, and it can have a huge impact on your long-term success. Then there is the issue of inflation, which we have all seen fluctuate recently. We used a 5% real return, which already accounts for some inflation. But if inflation stays higher than average for a long period, it could eat into your purchasing power. And we cannot forget about unexpected life expenses. Life has a way of throwing curveballs when you least expect them. You could have a major medical issue, or a family member who needs your financial help. If you have stopped saving, you might not have the extra cushion you need to handle these emergencies. This is why we always recommend building in a margin of safety. Maybe you do not stop saving completely, but you reduce your savings rate significantly. Or maybe you continue to contribute just enough to get your employer match. That is free money, and it is very hard to pass up, even if you are coasting. A hybrid approach can give you the best of both worlds. You get some of the freedom of being at coast fire, but you still maintain a safety net. Think about a teacher who has reached her coast number, but still has children heading to college soon. She might keep saving at a reduced rate of 10% instead of 25%. This allows her to build a college fund while still enjoying more of her current income. Another consideration is your own risk tolerance. Some people sleep much better at night knowing they have extra padding in their accounts. If your math says you need $600,000, but you would feel better with 700,000, then keep saving. Your emotions and your peace of mind matter just as much as the numbers on the screen. Now let us talk about the psychological side of this decision. For many of you, saving has become a deeply ingrained habit over the last 30 years. You have been disciplined, and you have watched your net worth grow with pride. It can be very hard to simply turn off that switch. You might feel anxious or even guilty about not putting money away anymore. There is also a lot of social pressure to consider. We live in a culture that celebrates the constant accumulation of wealth. Your friends or family might not understand why you are taking your foot off the gas. But on the other hand, there are massive psychological benefits to reaching this point. The freedom and flexibility can be life-changing for someone in their 50s or 60s. You can finally pursue that passion project you have been dreaming about for years. You can spend more quality time with your family and your grandchildren. You can travel and see the world while you are still healthy and active. You can design a life that is truly aligned with your personal values instead of your boss's goals. Think about what this could mean for your daily routine. Maybe you have always wanted to write a book or volunteer for a cause you believe in. Coastfire gives you the freedom to choose purpose over a paycheck. Some people use this milestone to negotiate much better working conditions. They might go part-time or work remotely, or even take a long sabbatical. When you are no longer dependent on maximizing every single dollar you have leverage, the key is to find the right balance for your specific situation. You need to be comfortable with your decision, both financially and emotionally. This is a very personal journey, and there is no one-size-fits-all answer for everyone. You need to do what is right for you, and not what society expects of you. So what is the bottom line here? When is it truly safe to stop saving for retirement? The answer is that it depends on your numbers and your comfort level with risk. But the most important takeaway is that you have more control than you think you do. You do not have to be a passenger in your own financial life. You can be the driver. Retirement planning is not just about accumulating as much wealth as humanly possible. It is about creating a life that you love, both right now and in the long term. It is about finding the perfect balance between financial security and living a rich life today. For some people, that means saving aggressively until the very last day. For others, it means reaching Coastfire and then downshifting to a more enjoyable pace. And for others, it means working longer, but with much less financial stress on their shoulders. There is no right or wrong answer to this question. The only answer that matters is the one that is right for your family. Take the time to sit down and do the math for yourself. Understand the variables and make a conscious and intentional decision. Do not let fear or social pressure dictate how you spend your golden years. This is your life, and you get to decide exactly how to live it. Take control of your money today, so you can live a life of true freedom and choice. Think about the legacy you want to leave behind. Is it a massive bank account that you never got to enjoy? Or is it a life full of experiences and memories with the people you love? The choice is yours. You have worked hard for your money, and now it is time to make sure it is working for you. Check your numbers and see how close you are to your own coasting point. You might be surprised to find that the finish line is already behind you. And once you realize that you can finally breathe a sigh of relief, you can start living the life you have earned. The journey to financial independence is long, but the reward is worth every bit of effort. Stay focused and stay disciplined, but do not forget to live along the way. Your future self will thank you for being smart with your resources today. Thank you for taking the time to focus on your financial future. It is never too late to make a plan that gives you peace of mind.